And I think we're live. Honey, babeni, babini, babadi, baboopy. And we are doing mapping and movie madness Mondays. And I've switched things up a little bit because, as you can see, not only are we with Jack, but we are back to Necropolis. More specifically, the side view. I am working the side view, and what I've got in the background here is an old version of it from the original book. It actually has some inaccuracies in it, but I want to use it as inspiration for how or what they were representing things like, and honestly how this thing even lays out. But knowing that they have some measurement inaccuracies, I'm using my map to ensure everything lines up. So that's what we're doing.
Cool.
Let's drag this over there. We'll drag this over here. Let's put it... You know what? Let's put it right there. And I know people like to see this, but... I mean... It's kind of obnoxious. I'm going to keep it out of the way. Alright, here we are. Honey, what a great weekend we had, huh?
Yes, indeed. Started off with a great Friday night, very relaxing after a long week of work. You know, you doing a lot of writing and stuff for the, in preparation for the Call of Cthulhu game that we then had on Saturday. First, full in-game game, with all of our vaccinated and safe friends in person. And that was a brilliant day, seeing everybody and actually gaming again for a whole day. That was brilliant. And then yesterday, kind of post-game recovery day, and you and I did, our different things, and it was great. Okay. After I just gave that blow by blow of our weekend, I think I'm gonna be checking out. Oh no.
No, it was good. It was really good. It was really good role-playing again.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew I missed it. I knew I wanted to get role-playing again. I didn't realize just quite how much, though.
Yeah, I got to admit, I've definitely been very envious of the people that were able to work through the playing digitally hurdles that we kind of ran into. We obviously, we're experienced gamers. We're all intelligent as far as none of us are technologically challenged. So we were able to figure out those kinks of it. But because I think one of the biggest things for us that we weren't able to get over is the fact that we're all friends in real life as well, and we like to chat. We like to have side conversations. Even on the day on Saturday, you were speaking with some of our friends, for game related things, and some of us on the other side of the table were leaning off and having an aside about also game related things. But it was like we were having a side discussion about what was about certain things, while you as the GM were talking to other players about certain things with what they were doing. You can't do that often, if at all, in the digital gaming space. You'd have to have multiple channels up and running. It would be very complex to kind of layer different things like that. You'd have to have two players jump in their own channel to if they wanted to have a side conversation, and we unfortunately were not able to make that transition. And so because of the entirety of quarantine, we haven't done it. But I've always been jealous and envious, but I've also been really pumped for people that were able to experience that, and they were able to get gaming on, because from what it seems like gaming almost increased over the quarantine, because a lot of people had a lot more free time. All of these companies suddenly popped up out of the woodwork of hey, you can play our games digitally on our platform. We either have character sheet, electronic character sheets that'll convert your things over, or dice rollers, and it was all these things started popping up, and it was great. It was kind of great for the gaming community in that regard.
I actually, I'm gonna wholly agree with that. That was one of the things that early on I noticed. Well, I think we all did, this huge surge in just awareness of what the tools were. And then, of course, the likes of Roll20 and the likes coming forwards, and suddenly becoming a very mainstream thing. And it was kind of fun playing with the different tools and trying them out and such. And of course, I even ran a few games last year, still virtually, for the different conventions. And I think they worked out good. But you're right, an in-person game, you're doing these little chattery things to one side. And it was actually a little disruptive at one time, even for the table. It would be a killer, virtually. You just couldn't do it.
Right.
7, 8.
Just do a link share real quick.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Julius is in the chat and gives a sleepy wave.
Hello, sleepy man. So this is what I'm working on, Julius, right here. I'm kind of basically converting Necropolis to a side view. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, that was 24. And then we've got 25. Which goes, so if that's 8, 1, 2, 3, let's do 25 for 3. Yeah, 25 for 3. How was your weekend, Julius? By the way, the reason why my map and my side view and this older version of the side view are so different is I actually think that the older version is wrong in a few different areas, so
Indeed.
That's why I'm kind of just mapping this out by scratch.
Yeah, you had mentioned that there were some inaccuracies, like things didn't line up.
Well, look at even this one here. This room 18. This is a side view, right? So that corresponds to this here. This secret corridor. Sorry, spoilers, folks. But this secret corridor, you make your way along here. And you smash out the wall, and it drops down into the room, just like this. In fact, I've even got the description for it here, and it drops down 30 feet off the floor. So there's 10, 20, 30. So it drops down 30 feet off the floor. So this is the ground floor here, if that makes sense. Well, you know, you've got an area leading off that direction. You've got an area leading off that direction. But these are on the ground of the new room. So, what is this?
Indeed.
Because they're drawing a corridor leading off from the secret thing. And that's just... That's just not... That's not a thing.
Just not correct. Right. Interesting. Okay. Brian is here saying hello.
Hello.
And Alex is here saying hi.
Hello.
And then Julia says, weekend mostly okay. Nice amount of rain to sleep to. And then how was y'all's weekend?
Our weekend was great. We had a wonderful, relaxing Friday evening. I mapped a little bit of Rome. And then I think we played games, No, we went downstairs and like watched movies and such. And then Saturday, in-person gaming, our Call of Cthulhu game, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely glad to get some of that back in. For those of you familiar with Call of Cthulhu, oftentimes there are party members that get quote-unquote sacrificed by the group as being the one that's going to be reading all of the crazy, twisted lore and books that make your characters lose sanity, and maybe they can learn spells, not that kind of jazz. My character was one of the two that drew the short straw on that one, and so my character will be continuing his research. He was already starting to read some of the stuff that we got. That's part of the reason why he kind of got thrown under the bus. Everybody just pretty much was like, hey, let him have it. But yeah.
It was good, and it had little spooky moments in the game. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, people having conversations, and suddenly they hear voices in their head start whispering to them. Always a fun time.
And Brian got to use the airplane tickets. 2, 3, 4. Like 15 months after you created them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But they were very popular. Brian, we should actually do more. We should do more props. One, 2, 3. 1, 2.
Funnily enough, speaking of props, I don't do 3D modeling. Obviously, that's not something that I do or have done. You know, something to potentially look into, even though there definitely is it helps to have a bit of an artistic edge, and I don't consider myself an artist. But that being said, I found a 3D model for a prop I too want to use for a future game, but it requires a slight bit of modeling because there's a big word on it that I'm like, I don't want that word there. That's stupid. So I'm gonna have to take the 3D file and go into an editing program and basically flatten out one side of it so it doesn't have the word embedded into it. So in the future, it could be 3D printed.
But I can't ask you what the prop is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Brian wants to know if there are pictures of the printed
3, 4,
tickets.
5, 6. 3, 4. I'll take them. I'll take one. Yeah, I'll take a photo. Because obviously I had to fill it all out. But yeah. I'd definitely get you one. I think, Jack, did we keep them in the props box? Or does everyone have their own?
Everyone has their own in their airport, or in their passport, excuse me. But like I've got mine right here because I actually have my thing here. So this was and actually I think you forgot to collect these as well. But like this was the bit that they filled out at the airport. Oh, come on, show on my camera. There we go. This was the bit that they filled out on the airport with all our personal information, and then it was torn off, and then we were given the actual ticket stub on it. So the one that I signed, and then was witnessed by the ticket agent. My Imperial Airways non-transferable ticket. But yeah, we could take some photos of them for you as well.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
We flew out of Croydon. Forgot about that.
Yeah, that's one thing that I really love about Call of Cthulhu, at least for me. It has me researching things. Like, it has me researching history, and I love that. So to find out where Imperial Airways flew out of Croydon Airport, and then find photos from the period, I mean, I love that shit. I really do.
Yeah, totally. Speaking of which, I think all those months ago when I got the one for the boat trip, I think I took the wrong one because I think this is the one this is the receipt that the company would hold on to, and the actual ticket side of it. I think I actually gave you that one back. I think I flip-flopped them. Anyways, good stuff.
That was a long answer for how was our weekend, but it was good. It was really good. And then of course yesterday, freaking dog-tired. I don't know how you guys and girls are after a gaming session, but I get exhausted myself.
It's always one of the things that I always admire about people who go to conventions all the time. Because in our home game, I'm like the next day after like I mean, granted we do game for like 8 or 9 hours straight. So there is that. Without any real breaks in there, because even when we serve food, we're still playing typically while we're eating and stuff. But like, gaming conventions, when people like go full, like they go the full weekend either running or playing, it's like, when we've done conventions, pretty much have to have a constant stream of like coffee or like some types of energy drinks or that type of thing, because it's like, holy scamoli. Sleep when you get back home after a convention. Peck says, yeah, post-game nap required. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know actually how a lot of people do it at conventions where they're gaming all night too.
Mm-hmm.
That really breaks my brain.
Or if they then they play till like 11 o'clock at night, and then they're like, oh, hey, I'm gonna go hang out with some people till like 2 or 3 in the morning. And it's like, well, when's your first game? Well, it's at 7. What? you have one of the early bird games that start at 7? Not one of the normal ones that start at like 9 or 10?
Yeah, some people just do not stop. They just keep on going. And I don't know how. And you're right. I mean, it's not just that they stay up late, but then they're up early the following day. And I'm like, what?
Right. Considering too, I don't know how a lot of people are, but like at conventions, because I am so excited to be there and because games are always so fun, when I get back to the hotel room, I need a few hours to wind down, because I'm so like, I'm usually so like pumped about the day, whatever day I had, or I'm so excited. I can't just like get to the room and then like, oh, I'm out. It's like I get to the room, sometimes I'll take a shower, I'll get changed, I'll have like a snack or something. And then I'm up. I'll like turn like the food channel or something as I like start winding down, and it's like, so if I'm out to like midnight or 1, it's like, well, okay, so I'm not getting to bed till like 3 then, because and our first game's at 8. Shit. Forest Rhodes is here. Hello. Good evening.
Hello, Forest. Working on a slightly different project tonight, Forest. I have to do a side view of this map. So that's kind of what I'm working on. The folks haven't asked for this yet, but I know they're going to be. So I don't want to be in suddenly a mad crunch on this one. I want to kind of be a little bit ahead of the curve. And, yeah. Just trying to get everything fitting right now.
Pex is jokingly saying, yeah, who says those people actually sleep? Good point. And then Forrest says, the few conventions I've gone to, you can tell that there are people going without much sleep. So, yeah. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I do like that, the fact that the schedules are able to be flexible for people who do require sleep or do need a little bit more extra time. How like not every single game starts at 8. There'll be games that start at 9. There'll be some games that start at 9:30. It's like the schedules for conventions are always so great, where they're kind of all over the place, and pretty much any time you're ready to play a game, you'll probably be able to find a game. I do love gaming conventions. I miss conventions. I haven't even been to that many, and I'm now, I've become an addict. Look at that. I miss them. Looking forward to Gamehole Con this year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Gamehole Con. Yeah. Without a doubt. God, they got the scale on this thing so far off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. there, our cliff, this 180-foot cliff, should come up to there.
Oh, indeed.
I mean, maybe they weren't doing it to scale or something. I don't know. But if we are doing it to scale, the cliff is up here. Shoot. Well, it is what it is, what it is.
Peck says, honestly, when I hit a con hard, 4 or less hours of sleep per night, my secret is coffee. And I'm sure others use coffee as well as other stimulants. Yeah, totally right. Forrest says that he went to Strategicon, which used the Hilton Hotel in LA as its venue. I always remember when I first found out about gaming conventions. I lived down in that area, in the Southern California area, for a long time, and I'd never been to a convention, but someone I knew, I don't know, somehow got on a mailing list or something, because he wasn't into like gaming or anything, but he got it was a catalog for Strategicon. And I'd always heard of conventions, but I didn't know how they worked. And it was like, and so I was fascinated looking at the schedule for it. And I always wanted to go. I wanted Strategicon to be my first convention because it just sounded so cool. But I never knew anybody that would do it. I didn't want to go on my own. And at the time, I couldn't drive myself there because I was too young. Yeah, but that's awesome though. That's awesome.
Apples, says Alex Gray. Apples.
So supposedly apples give you like more energy than like a cup of coffee does.
Really?
Supposedly, yeah. Like all the natural sugars and stuff. That's what I heard. So she's saying that actually makes total sense. A part of me is like, yeah, that makes sense. Obviously, it doesn't have caffeine or anything, but supposedly they give you an apple gives you as much, if not more, energy than a cup of coffee. Yeah, Pex, I'm with you. I like apples, but I'm with Pex. I'm keeping the coffee. You can have your damn apples. Alex says the sugar gives the boost, and then the slow burn starch keeps you going longer than a coffee. Cool.
Okay. I might have to try that out. Take some apples to Game Hall with us.
Oh, I just thought you meant like here at home. Like
well, we could try it here too, actually.
I'm gonna toss an apple to you in the morning, and I'm gonna have a cup of coffee.
No. That's not how this works.
No. Sounds like I get your cups now. I'm just saying. Whole pot of coffee for me. Brian says, what about applesauce? Ooh, Alex, that's a great idea. Her secret is both. Have coffee with apples on the side to eat. Ooh. There you go. Except Pex is now asking, so if you eat apples and drink coffee, does your head explode? Scanner style. And then Forrest saying, one year at the LA convention, I saw Hulk Hogan. I don't think he knew what was going on. He had this confused look as he tried to get out of the hotel. Oh, because he was like, what the hell is this weird convention going on?
So what is Strategicon? And maybe I don't know enough about this.
It's my understanding that it's just it's a Southern California, it's a Los Angeles-based gaming convention. I have no idea if it's even still going. I'm gonna Googleize it right now.
Because I think in my head thought that it was like a wargaming convention or something.
When I was younger and I first got the catalogs for it, there was a lot of wargaming, but there was a lot of role playing in it as well. So. Strategicon, Hilton, Los Angeles Airport. Strategicon, they might actually have like a couple of mini cons that they overhead, because the webpage is strategicon.net, but then they also have OrcCon, GameX, and Gateway. So interesting. But yeah, it looks like it's every kind of gaming convention out there. So it's like when I just clicked on like register an event, it was like which type, and these are the types are your typical board games and card games, collectible card games and minis, LARPs, miniatures, party games, role-playing games, video games, war games, or general.
Yeah, I thought it was just like an RPG board game convention.
Yeah, and there's
3
actually
cons a year, says Alex.
There's a tag for wargaming as well. So yeah, and seminars. So yeah, I think it's just straight on. Yeah, those are the 3 I was saying. The OrcCon, GameX, and Gateway. I think Gateway is the quote unquote like original one. The one that like way back in the day, it would just be that one every year. But that's cool. Yeah, OrcCon is the President's Day weekend, GameX is Memorial Day weekend, and Gateway is Labor Day weekend.
We didn't watch any new films over the weekend. We watched The Mummy 2. That's what it was.
Yeah, The Mummy Returns. That's what we watched. Because we watched obviously the 1932 Mummy film, which the 99 one was a remake of, and so then that got us to watch that because obviously you're running masks and we're about to go into Egypt, and the new ones obviously are very pulp action, and because we watched the first one, we were like, let's watch the second one, and so we watched the second one. So yeah, they're fun. They're fun, pulpy action. The second one, I mean, it'd been a long time since I'd seen it. I don't remember it having so much of like that kid humor in it. I was actually surprised. There was a lot of that.
Yes, I forgot all about the kid. And there was a lot of kid.
Holy God, back to the coffee and apple thing. The Julius is saying, I wonder how well making coffee with apple juice would taste. Ugh. That might be very fun. And then Brian's saying they make coffee with Coca-Cola, so who knows? Is that like a cans, like a can like Coca-Cola coffee thing? I've never heard of that. Whew. That's funky town. Red Bull sized cans. They do make coffee Coca-Cola. Oh, good Lord. And then Peck says, might as well watch Stargate and Indiana Jones if you're going to go on an Egyptian movie kick.
We did Indiana Jones actually not long ago. Sorry, Jack, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say literally what you just said, yeah. Yeah, and there is always Stargate as well. Yeah, little different, a little bit, probably a bit more sci-fi than we need, but.
And I really liked Stargate, but yeah, it's a little, that's the wrong vibe. And honestly, even the Mummy films was the wrong vibe in all truth, because it's
Right.
very pulpy,
Right.
very pulpy. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, but like it's almost like we need the equivalent of like a spy film, like a 70s spy thriller in like Egypt, like we need like 3 Days of the Condor in Egypt, or Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy in Egypt. We need to be a little bit more low key and investigatory than adventure-y. If we try to do half of the things that they do in the Mummy film, we're all rolling up new characters. We would die so fast.
Well, and that's the pulp rules. Call of Cthulhu
Right.
does have rules for pulp, and characters can do that shit.
Right. Yeah, I think in our current campaign, we've been in 2 firefights, if I'm not mistaken. One of them was on the boat, and one character got hit with a shotgun blast and almost killed him. And our nurse was able to save him, was able to stop his bleeding. And the other time was against the freaking wyvern, for a freak's sake. And that, because you rolled poorly, none of us died. But it's like those are the only, like, before that we fought a couple of zombies in a basement with like some melee weapons, and we fought off 2 cultists with some melee weapons. But that was pretty much it. It's like we don't get into fights or have big action set pieces. It's pretty funny. Brian says, I really like the Stargate movie too. And then too bad they never made any more movies or anything else with that. Oh, I take it you weren't a fan of the show? SG-1? Yeah, Forrest, exactly. He says, yeah, the Mummy films are all action. They toss any subtlety out the window. Exactly. They need to convince Rowan Atkinson to be the spy for that Egyptian spy series. Oh God, like Johnny English does Egypt? What the hell? That's so. Peck says, they made a direct to VHS/DVD release, tying in the movie to SG-1, and explain why Colonel O'Neill in the show isn't Kurt Russell. That's so silly. It's the pilot episode of SG-1 is. I mean, that's all the explanation you need. It's so crazy. I mean, and who cares if it's, they recast the guy? I mean, they really lucked out with the actor that plays, what's his name? The James Spader character, because he actually kind of looked like James Spader. But, I mean, you don't need an explainer of suddenly why O'Neill looks different. Suddenly, Colonel O'Neill's MacGyver, and you're like, hell yes, what just happened?
The Lighthouse. Oh, the Lighthouse was good. Have we seen The Witch, Jack?
We haven't seen The Witch. The Witch is the one he did, the same director did before The Lighthouse.
Gotcha.
I have it on my watch list. I would be totally down with watching it. It's actually the Anya Taylor-Joy, the girl from The Queen's Gambit, is the main character in The Witch.
Oh, indeed. Okay.
Yeah.
6, 7,
Daniel Jackson.
8.
Yes. Daniel. Yes.
What? What? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And the actor
2, 3,
was
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Michael Shanks. Michael Shanks. God, he looks really familiar though. I've had to have seen him in something else other than Stargate. What else have I seen him from? Or was it just Stargate? Was that it? Yeah, looking at his thing, it's probably just Stargate. Okay.
The Witch is a scary rabbit. We'll have to watch The Witch. I'm down with it. I'm down with it.
Okay. Cool.
Maybe we even save it for our horror
Halloween?
Halloween. Yeah.
We could watch 2 scary movies that night. That works.
What's the other one we're doing?
Lights Out.
Oh, right.
That being said, which is a little bit more Cthulhu-y-ish, that they might have precedence over. Pex also says, yeah, good movie. Very well directed. Yeah, that guy, Eggers is he hasn't done a lot, but like he's really good, you know, and I'm looking forward to like other stuff he's gonna do, you know, in the future. He has only done those 2, right? What was it? What's his name? Robert Eggers. Yeah, he's done those 2. He's got one coming out next year called The Northman. Oh, interesting. So his one coming out next year, The Northman, is a historical thriller set in the turn of the 10th century in Iceland. The main character is the Nordic prince Amleth, who seeks revenge after his father is murdered. Viking Prince Amleth goes to extreme depths to seek revenge for the murder of his father, King Horvindil. Huh. Interesting.
Watch that. I'll be breaking out the Nordic bloody Call of Cthulhu next.
Hey, flashback sequence again. It's all good. Oh God, Pex. Yeah, the trailer for Pig. Oh God, it's a Nicolas Cage movie called Pig, where he's got a truffle sniffing pig, you know, with one that can find like truffles or whatever, has a nose for it, and I guess the pig gets captured, and Nick Cage is now on a revenge quest to get his pig back. It looks so, it's like John Wick with a pig, but it's not dead. He's actually trying to find it. No, so it's like Taken with a pig. It's like, Jesus.
Oh God.
And Beck says, thank you, Cage, for keep picking up winners.
It's like, I really want to like Cage. I really genuinely do. He makes it very difficult.
Alex says, we might want to find the film version of The Whisperer in Darkness. Apparently the writer, Call of Cthulhu writer Sandy Peterson, supposedly helped support it financially. 2011 independent film. Got a 6.7 out of 10 average fan review on IMDb. Ooh, here's a nice comprehensive list of things inspired by H.P. Lovecraft works. Oh, we have like Reanimators on here. Okay, hang on.
No, Reanimator, I believe, it is acknowledged as being...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought this was being silly. Oh, but some of them are silly. Like, there's literally Call Girl of Cthulhu.
Well, that's inspired by, though, right?
Right, true. Of course, I do see that there's one from 2007 called The Tomb. H.P. Lovecraft's The Tomb, based on his 1917 story of the same name.
6, 7.
This looks like this would be bad. Oh, and it's just over an hour long.
5, 6, 7. 3.
Forrest says, in my mind, the term Lovecraftian in any horror media pits the reader against the unknown. The focus needs to be the nebulousness of the threat the protagonist faces. Yeah, that can make sense then. Yeah, because if there's like if there's a physical antagonist, then it's either going to be a monster movie or a slasher movie, and that's not in the same vein at all. Forrest says Nick Cage was great in adaptation. He can be in good films. It's just rare. And Brian points out he does have an Oscar. Yeah.
What did he get the Oscar for?
Leaving Las Vegas, I believe.
Okay.
I don't know. Did he get... I know he got nominated for adaptation, but I don't think he's won anything other than for Leaving Las Vegas, right? Let me pull this up here. Oh, wow, he's only been nominated for those two, for Leaving Las Vegas and adaptation, and he won for Leaving Las Vegas. Did not win for adaptation. What else was nominated that year? Let's see. Oh, that was the year of the Pianist and Gangs New York, and okay, yeah. And Adrian Brody won for The Pianist. Yeah. Yeah, I got it, Bex. I got the Googles. I can wiki. And Daniel Day-Lewis, though, as Bill the Butcher, it's a tough act to beat. But Adrian Brody was pretty damn good in The Pianist, though.
I remember nothing about The Pianist. I have watched it. I remember nothing about it.
Very sad drama. It's about it's World War II, and it follows and I think it's actually based on a real guy, if I'm not mistaken, based on a Jewish pianist who's Polish, I think. And it's like his family and everybody gets taken to like concentration camps, and he's able to hide, but then it's him basically wandering in through like abandoned cities or cities occupied by like by Germans, and he has to like hide and he has to survive, and like he's in the he's isolated for most of the movie, and there's big he's obviously scared for his life, and he's like he struggles to like find food, because he's been like hiding so long, and that's kind of the general gist of it. I don't remember the full plot like aside from that, but it's very it hurts your heart when you watch it. It's one of those. It's like it's in the same discussion of like things with Schindler's List, where it's like it's a beautiful film. It's very powerful, and it's like it's not one that you just want to watch on repeat because it makes you feel like crap. So. Peck says one of Cage's most underrated films, in his opinion, is 8mm. It's super dark. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I've seen 8mm.
I think I have, but I couldn't tell you anything that it's about.
Nicolas Cage stars as a private investigator who delves into the world of snuff films. I think I have seen this. Okay, probably one of those ones where I should, I don't remember it, kind of like you, but it's one of those.
You could throw it back on the list.
Yeah, throw it back on the list. Yeah. He is in stuff that's good though. That is one of the weird things about Cage. I mean, actually, I don't know about lately, but like he's been in actually a lot of good things,
What was that one that was almost he could predict different possible things that are going to happen, or he could jump forward in time or something?
Yeah, next.
Yeah,
he couldn't jump, but yeah, he could predict.
He could predict. He could like peek in or something.
Yeah. He was able to know like X amount of time in the future of a particular like path, and he could choose to go back to a certain point, to like try again, so to speak.
I kind of like that one.
Yeah, I thought that one was really fun. It was really fun. Peck says Mandy was probably his last good one, and we have not seen Mandy. I heard that one was bonkers, though. He was pretty good in Color Out of Space.
Yes. Yes. I was a little holistically a tad disappointed in the film as a whole, as a collective, but I thought it was pretty good in it.
Brian gives a better summary of the 8mm film, a better synopsis. An old dude dies, and his wife finds this roll of film and hires Cage to investigate the origin or authenticity of the snuff film images, probably. Goes into a rabbit hole into that world. Okay.
Yeah, I think we should put that on the list, actually. I seem to have recollections of that one.
Yeah, according to the wiki, it didn't get the best of reviews, sadly. But we can still do it. Yes, it is. It is Forest. Yeah. Part of the reason why I was bringing it up. Because it is Cthulhu-y. And well, as Brian, as you heard Alyssa just say that she was kind of disappointed with the film as a whole. Being that I wasn't familiar with the original story, and I'm not really familiar with a lot of Lovecraft's works in general. I've only had a little bit of stuff with with role playing, and then a couple of movies that people have told me are Cthulhu-y or Lovecraftian. I thought it was okay. I would give it like a 6 out of 10. Probably. Maybe. 5.7.
Are you trying to get me to go do my
No.
votes?
I'm trying to now think of the movie, because we only saw it the one time, it was a while ago. Alex, I did not see your comment on them. Let's see. Herbert West Reanimator is a horror story. Is a horror short story by American writer. Okay, so that's probably from the wiki or something. Yeah, that's what Alyssa was saying. Alyssa was saying that it's that Reanimated. I was scoffing at it, and she was like, "No, it's based on a something level of graphs." So, yeah. Forrest was commenting how the Color Out of Space doesn't make sense as a movie because the whole point of the short story Color Space was the color was something no one had ever seen before, something you could do in a book but not in a film, because obviously in a film you gotta color it. And Brian says Reanimator is based on The Cool Air. Oh, that's the short story. Oh, okay, gotcha. That's the H.P. Lovecraft short story. That's the name of it. Okay. Oh, okay. Cool. Well, that's kind of weird then that if Alex was saying that it's what was the name of it, Alex? Herbert West Reanimator. Maybe they combined the two? Or maybe it got renamed? Yeah, because Herbert West Reanimator. That's the one that's credited on the wiki as being the adaptation. Perhaps they just have very similar concepts. Yeah, the wiki for Cool Air doesn't reference the Reanimator film, while the Reanimator story says that it is. So I don't know. I haven't. I only go by. I'm only going by what the wiki says. Peck says, I haven't seen Willy's Willy's Wonderland yet, though. But I kind of want to see Nick Cage battle demonic animatronics just for the giggles. Yeah. That definitely looks like that's one of those, what on earth is he thinking it wanting to be like part of this project? Evil animatronics that like kill people and he battles them in a like slasher thriller type movie. It's like, what the heck is happening?
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, and I'm kind of okay with that.
A recent film of Nick Cage's called Willy's Wonderland, where there's an old rundown, like almost think of like Chuck E. Cheese, and it's got like animatronic, animals that like entertain the crowd, and they're like, I think it's like a group of kids are going into like, because supposedly it's haunted or something, and the animatronics like come to life and like murder people, and Nick Cage is like a drifter who gets a part-time job there trying to clean the place up, and then he has to like fight these demonic animatronic things. It's like Five Nights at Freddy's, that video game. It's like that. Forrest asks if he may make a critique of this side view map.
Yeah. You never have to ask.
And Alex says that she's seen it and it is a lot of fun. Nice. And Peck says, bringing it up on his list. Higher standing now to get a sooner watch.
Forrest, I appreciate that. Let me turn off everything that is not mine.
So he asks, oh wait, you aren't using that as the background?
No. So this, do I still have that open somewhere? No, but this is the original from the original book right here. In fact, let me just throw up the opacity on it. This is what was in the first book. It actually has some inaccuracies in it, but I wanted to at least pay homage. And honestly, I don't even know how some of these things line up, so this is helping me understand the side view. But no, this is not going to be the thing, and we won't do clouds like this. And right now, I'm just kind of honestly measuring. Yeah, I mean, the old one is definitely off in some areas. I'm still trying to make a decision about if I want to get this room 16 to show. And if I do, It's down these steps. So steps. This was, by the way, this was the old dungeon map that was also in the book, and this is my version of the equivalent. Well, this area actually is got no number on it. Interesting. So what comes after room 15? Oh,
Forrest
hello,
jokingly says, "So give me the phone number of the artist that did it, and I'll add a time machine, and I'll go back and let them know."
That's all good. Honestly, no, I appreciate you wanting just to give advice and just pointers. And I've been Twitch streaming or YouTube streaming, I want to say, for about 2 or 3 years now. Let's call it 2. And one of the things that I really like is I'm hanging out with friends, that's you guys and girls, and you give suggestions. And the suggestions can be as little as, hey, can you draw this in this room or this location, all the way through to, maybe that's not quite working. It makes me a better cartographer. Hello, Prince. How are you? You doing okay? Were you getting hot over there, Wiggle fella?
So in regards to the film Willy's Wonderland, Alex says Nick Cage as the cleaner. I'm guessing is that you never learned his name, is he just referred to as the cleaner? Nick Cage as the cleaner doesn't play it as a batshit crazy character that we'd all expect. Instead, he's a level-headed character who just wants to get the place clean. So is he more pissed off that these things are coming to life and making a mess of everything? Is he kind of like more angry at the fact that messes are being made as opposed to the fact that they're actually like demonic entities? That's funny. And Forrest was just saying that, yeah, he didn't fully realize what you were doing. He's at work and he's taking peeks at the stream from time to time, so he didn't realize that the two.
All good, my friend. All good. So we gotta go past that. We got 17. We got stairs 1, 2,
That's
3,
funny,
4,
Alex.
5, 6 down.
That's really funny.
I think I'm doing this right. So it goes one past there, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, let's do 17. Quite a bit though. There's stairs coming down now. Stairs start 1 in, they come down a little bit, landing. Alright. So we come in a wiggle bit, and we have stairs coming down, then we have a landing, stairs coming down. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I think I counted 17, didn't I? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yes, I did. Glowing black text, what now?
Forrest says, I hate layouts that use glowing black text. My coworkers use them all the time.
Oh, well, and this has got glow black text. I guess it's the original, right? This one this one does a little bit. Is that what you mean by glowing black text, this type of thing? And I can open up another one here where we've got this side view, actually. This is the old original side view. Oops. So something like that. Now I'm gonna put glowing black text on my map. What did my actual... Oh, I did glowing white text. No, I did white with a stroke on it. For this is the GM layer with the labels. Alright, so we got that there, and then so that stops there. So I guess room 16, if we go from this, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in all. Oosh. So 2 goes here, and then we go for another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we've got a 2 and a 2 hallways. So something like... Oh no! What did I do? Let's bring that back.
Forrest says artists use them when they didn't plan out the typography during the design and have to create a false contrast to make their text legible. White text with a stroke is fine with what you have.
I feel like I just dodged a bullet.
And then Julia says, useful for helping text to stand out when it's hard to discern the text for the background. But yeah, it could be, I can see overusing it would be really annoying. True.
Oops. 1, 2, 3. What are you doing, baby? What is this? What are you doing?
Forrest says on the side view map, the original one, the artist could have simply put a break in the clouds where the text is and made the text make it look more natural. Yeah. It was probably who knows how it was. It might have been whoever did the original map just did all the mapping and all that stuff, and including like the clouds, and then someone came in later to put in the text and numbering and all that. So it could have been 2 separate people entirely. But yeah.
It might have been. It might have been.
I have like no stake in the game and I'm trying to defend the original artist. I don't even care.
I think, no. And I think... fuck knows. God knows. I don't know. Yeah,
I do think it's cool that you are making it, actually be accurate dimension-wise to what you've got going on.
Yeah, and I think that's important. In fact, I'm going to go so far as to say that Mark Greenberg would require it. I'm seeing some oddities in the original. Don't know if you guys and girls can see this, but there's almost like this pyramid center room here, room 17. And this is actually the height of the ceiling, so this one's a little bit low, but okay, whatever. This room here, this 17A, is meant to be a duplicate of 17, and its ceiling is a lot smaller. This room 16 here, you can see, is not only out of position, but its ceiling height is just way off as well, so that's kind of interesting. They drew room 4 here, so the original map is pretty much identical to what I've done here. So this room 4 is almost identically in alignment. If imagine you're looking in from the side, this room 4 is right above these stairs here. But the way that they did the original, it was actually not. It was set further back and it was overlapping into room 3, which just isn't accurate at all. So there's definitely a few oddities on it.
Yeah.
Including the height of the cliff, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that was one of the things you were saying earlier. It's like, wait, you're like, this mountain should be way taller than what it currently shows.
Yeah, Julius, I'm wondering if that's exactly what they were doing, distance. And I can respect that. I can respect that. Which is why I guess room 16 is half the height that it should be. Maybe that's one thing they're trying to do, is set things further away. Which, okay, I can get behind that. I haven't actually drawn this area here, and I should before we finish the stream, so I'm going to get this section in here.
Well, have we already been going? We have, haven't we? Wow, look at us. I didn't even realize over an hour had gone by. Huh.
Oh, I need to open up.
Ooh.
Second layer.
Forrest says, all right, he's shutting up. Work stuff. I keep my art criticism to once per stream.
Opening up another big map here just to get these dimensions now. So this is doing something here too. I mean, the fact that this shaft comes down and drops 5 feet.
Right.
It drops down and then comes back up again. That's not a thing.
Huh. That's so strange. I mean, obviously, doing a side view of anything is already kind of, you know, unique in and of itself. I'm wondering if whoever had originally did this map, yeah, maybe they, yeah, I don't even know. I'm trying to like rationalize why the heck it happened like that. It definitely seems to be some oddities, that original one, like that.
And yeah, so I guess the shaft would come down there, but the room is 4 in leather. I wish it would stop doing that. So I guess it would do something like this. And then we've got another corridor, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh. 6. So that is just a corridor. This bit here. Then I've got this room, which is 3 deep. Then I've got another one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 deep. Oh, I'm so much bigger than that right now. 6 deep. Like, they're just way off on their original. What? 100, so 10, 20, 30 feet down. Interesting. Interesting. And then we've got stairs going 1, 2, 3.
And Julia says it definitely looks like they were combining landscape side view and blueprint side view into one, and that technique is really difficult to try to pull off. Indeed.
I've not heard of that before. Landscape side view and blueprint side view. Interesting. I'm not familiar with those techniques. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look how much bigger this is. Right, let's pull that up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's massive compared to that. God, really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Yeah.
There you go.
Wow, they didn't even bloody try with this round one. I mean, look at it. Right, let's just check our room dimensions here, though. So we've got room 37. Oops, don't need that. Let's get rid of you. Bye-bye. Come on. Have I not got 37 on here? Oh. I wonder where my 37 is.
Is that in an old file, perhaps?
Must be. Yeah, I must have Huh.
Yeah, because I mean, clearly you had some sort of description because you were able to do it with all the colors and stuff for the and GM layer names and stuff.
Alright.
Spoilers, nice. Ah.
Let's get this drawn in. Set up at 10 feet. It's gonna be more. This is a big chamber after all.
I like the death pit right in the beginning in room 3. Jesus Christ.
No spoilers. I'm not going to tell you what that is.
Good Lord, that is a long drop.
That is a big drop too.
That's a peace out, son. See, Alex says, tomb lower level may not be to scale. Party cartographer, isn't that just great for us? And then Julia says, to quote Doctor Who, it's bigger on the inside. Exactly. You know, that's actually, Alex kind of brings up an interesting point. I once played in a group a long time ago where the GM wouldn't map out the dungeon, and players could only map it out if someone in the party had parchment and a writing utensil of some kind.
Sounds like charcoal, your dad, I'm just saying.
It was indeed my father.
Called it.
Because he was indeed the man who taught me how to play Dungeons and Dragons, AD&D, first edition, back in the day. But I'm sitting here going like, I'm wondering if there are GMs that still are like that. Like if they're like, I'm not going to draw this out. You have to, if you want to do it, you can draw it out yourself. Or if there's like a combo method where I'll draw it out, the GM will draw it out and the party can track it. But like if the GM constantly like erases like what they draw, like if they have a finite amount of, whiteboard space or what have you, or map space, and so they'll do a little bit so the party can kind of see what they're talking about, and then they'll like erase it. And if you're the cartographer, you're like, oh shit, let me draw it down. I'm wondering about that. I'm a big fan of having the whole map out on the table. I don't care about
I used to make back in England. I used to make my guys draw it.
Really?
Yeah, I would only put out small sections at a time, the section that they're in. But remember, that was also an era of printed tiles,
Yeah.
So you could put out a room and the doors on the room, maybe a corridor, and so I would just have a few rooms out at a time as they were making their way through the dungeon. And if they, but we always used to want to map. That was the weird thing. We wanted to map it out.
Right. I always wanted the tile method to work for me when I ran stuff, but it was always one of those things where I always felt like I was limited to the tiles that I had, and then I would like design a map using my tiles, and I would actually draw it out on like my graph paper off to the side. And then I remember I tried doing it one time in game, and I brought all the tiles with me, and I thought I had put them like in my box in like the correct order that I would need them. And I remember every time like a new area was discovered or the party would continue on, I was really, really struggling on trying to get the correct tiles placed, and it ended up just being a nightmare.
Yeah, and it's weird because I've experienced that with you, but back in England, we never had that problem, and I cannot tell you what the difference is. Like, I don't remember, like, fumbling around, looking for bloody pieces and parts.
It was always just like, bam, got it.
Yeah, and maybe I was just... It was just an organization thing, and I was always just a little bit more organized, but... Yeah, I can't explain it.
And on this discussion of, like, the mapping and stuff, Julia says... That actually sounds like it would be fun, but the GM would have to give a good amounts of detail if reading from a book, and the party member with cartography has to make the maps, except for when they're pre-made maps. It's important for NPCs or from shops. Oh yeah, you could like buy a map from a shopkeep or something. Well, I don't know if you could buy a map unless it's like a region map. That'd be one of those things where you'd have to talk to like in the tavern. There's the old adventurer who once delved into the cave systems, and we mapped it out. I don't ever plan on going down there again. I've lost too many friends to that cave system. You can have me map for 100 gold. Well, screw you, buddy. I'll wait till you go home at night and rob you. 100 gold. I'm a level 1 character. I got 100 gold. I have 100 copper. Get out of here. And Brian says, I have some radical graph paper. Oh, radial. I was like, radical graph paper, dude. No, I have some radial graph paper. It's good for making crazy dungeon layouts. Whoa. I don't know if I've ever seen radial graph paper. Ooh. Interesting. I mean, that would be a pain in the ass to then try to like do on like a dry erase, map for everybody, Alex says, I was mad at my I was mad at my high point of GMing. I'd make a map of the dungeon as if it were new, ink it, then copy it onto a second sheet, then add the aging, damage, flooding, additions by monsters, etc. And then Andrew Durston in the chat says, gas station spin rack of local dungeon maps. Yeah, that's the vendor has the, oh, you're going into the, the goblin caves of Thrakok. If you look on the, it'll be on the third road down on the little turnstile over there. That's where you should find the goblin caves. I can send you my PDF for 100 quid. Alex says it used OHP clear sheets to mark patrols, territories of monsters, etc. too. Wowzers. You really did go crazy with that. That's nuts. In like kind of like a cool way. Like I'm almost like impressed. That's like, you and Alyssa have the same level of effort you put into it, or at least have. That's cool. Oh, Brian, no, you draw the radial layout, but then describe it as a regular map. Oh, indeed. Holy crap. Andrew Seligman just fired up a game on Steam. Jesus Christ.
Holy shit. He's still around.
That's the first time I've seen him on Steam in years. Like 7 years. Huh.
Probably have to do some kind of frame around this, I imagine, too. Maybe a nice little Egyptian-inspired frame. Okay, I think it's going to look something like this. No, we're going to have to... This cliff is going to be freaking weird. I mean, I guess we do something like this with a nice little sort of cliff face, do type of deal.
That's cool, Brian. So the party thinks they're walking down a straight path, but then encounter rooms they've already been to before. That's real trippy, man. That's kind of cool.
Don't be giving him ideas.
That's
not be giving him ideas.
Yeah, Alyssa's not been very happy because obviously she runs Cthulhu, so we all know what to expect with that, with like characters going mad. But I'm starting to really ramp up my my writing as far as introducing Cthulhu into my Shadowrun game, and she's been very cross with me with some of the things that I've been sharing.
Yeah, you're not allowed to.
And so you saying that, I'm sitting here going like, ooh, that sounds like a great idea. Going up a couple of flights of stairs in an apartment building and then coming out on street level again all of a sudden. Be like, wait, what? That's our car parked across the street. We literally just went up 3 flights of stairs into this apartment complex. Julius says, this reminds me of how I wanted to go make to make children's to advanced maze magazines years ago. Still kind of interested in making them, but not sure how they'd sell on today's market. Like children's mazes to all the way up to advanced mazes. Like it would, like each issue would like progressively get harder, like that type of thing. Alex making a joke with the whole turnstile cave system map thing. Do you have the map for the Hell Caves of Devandoa? Yeah, it's on the turn rack. No, it's not. Oh, bummer. Must have sold out. I'm pretty sure we had 10 copies of it. Wait, there are 10 other adventuring parties going there? At least. Jesus. That is always one of those funny things, starting level dungeons, in like D&D games. It's like, you telling me there's no other adventurers ever like that would have cleared this place out? We're the hero. No, the heroes are the heroes. They're the protagonists. You're the only adventuring party ever.
I used to have other adventuring parties in mine. And sometimes they were outright competing with the players,
Oh, see, that's cool. Oh, nice. Brian says, yeah, I wanted to run a game based on the movie Cube. This is almost as good. Yeah. Yeah. That's some trippy, tricky C stuff you've got going on there, sir. Julius is like, yeah, I've only ever seen one adventuring party in all the campaigns I've been in or seen. Yeah, I like that idea though, this stuff, having other parties out there.
And some of them were a lot tougher. I had alignments for them, composition and that type of thing, and just even a single line summary of who they were. And I always remember my party. Actually, there was another evil party that was trying to get to something. They were in a dungeon before, like, the good guys arrived, so to speak. And I always remember describing them, and they even had matching outfits and shit. And my players thought it was so cool that they decided that they were gonna have matching outfits. But it just came out really corny. They had little lightning bolts and stuff, and little cloaks and things. They looked like cheesy fucking superheroes or something. It's like they just couldn't pull it off.
That's funny. It's funny in both fantasy games and in like even now in like my Shadowrun that I'm doing. It's like I've always had like other groups of adventurers, like or like in Shadowrun, like other groups of like Shadowrunners or mercenaries. But oddly enough, they don't. I've never actually had them actively going out and doing things to necessarily conflict with another party. Like I've had like evil groups of adventurers in like D&D. But like they were never trying to do the same mission as you guys. Or trying to screw up the other things. It would always be like if you were going to go up against the bad guy would send, well, I've got a group of adventurers that I'm gonna send after you, and it would be more like a bandit group or an assassin group more than a. Well, wait, we wanted to go into the dungeon and get the MacGuffin. Well, screw you guys. We're gonna dungeon delve first before you do. That's actually kind of an interesting idea. Let's see. Andrew Durston says, always the world question. Are your players the first to consider adventuring or just the most recent? Exactly. What happened to the last guys that went there? None of them came back. Oh no, let's not go to that dungeon. Alex says, it was in a game where 5 GMs were running the same adventure with different parties. Oh, indeed. I was in the evil party. Oh no, I'm sure that was a lot of fun. I mean, assuming you can be in a game where, evil campaigns. I've never played with a mature enough group where it didn't just devolve into all the players are just trying to kill each other. It's like, I've only I think I've been like in 2 ever where it's like we were trying to play like an evil campaign where we're the bad guys, and both times it just ended up just being like we got through like one dungeon and then we all killed each other. It was stupid. So I want to play a real one, not like evil. Like I want to play going around like murdering people, but I want to be like I'm summoning like my dark lord or something. Mwahaha. Julie says, what if you were to take retired PCs from the players and use them as rival adventurers? Well, I would have to have players with retired characters. Ours always seem to run that they go until they die, it seems like. Or the campaign ends and then you pick up a new character, and at that point your level 2 character is not going up against your level 19 character because they would just get stomped. And Andrew's saying his players had party tabards and merchandising. Going back to your group with the matching outfits that look like superheroes with the little lightning bolts.
Well, what was the name of our group in Earthdawn? Talking about
Stormwatch.
Stormwatch.
And we all had a pose.
Oh, we were so cheesy.
We would strike a pose every time we talked about ourselves. Yeah, we were so bad. and everybody would be like, uh-huh. Well, you haven't heard of us? We are Stormwatch. Strike a pose. Everyone would just like, oh god. They're back. Get them out of the bar. Yeah, Julius, if you were gonna use players' old characters that have retired, you would definitely have to have a lot of notes about how they like the personalities the characters had, their backgrounds, the types of decisions that the players have made over time. But that's only if you are going to do that. And I got to imagine that some players would be sad that suddenly they're because I mean obviously a rival adventuring party, well, it's not necessarily that they're evil, they're definitely an antagonist, and I'm sure some players would be like, well, wait a minute, my guy wouldn't be an aggressor here. He'd try to find a neutral ground for them to agree upon, or my character wouldn't do that, I bet you no matter how much note taking you take, you'd have one player that'd be like, well, my character would never do that. My character would be best buds with my current character. Like, oh, good lord. I'm just trying to do something fun here.
Alright, I think this is a good stopping point for this. I'm just crudely getting this stonework to show through. I think I'm gonna send this to Mark, and I'm gonna get him to sign off on the dimensions that I've got going here. Maybe get him on a Zoom meeting or something like that. I think that's good for me. I think tomorrow we're going to work on the Keystone map. We're going to start drawing the second layer. And Wednesday we're going to be working on the cosmology map. It's all go, go, go. 3 different maps in 1 week.
That's cool.
Yeah, so Jack, thank you very much for hanging out. And thank you everyone for watching.
Yeah.
Everyone have an absolutely great evening. And I'll be back tomorrow with a completely different map. We're going to work on the second layer of Keystone. So until then, everyone, good night. Thank you. Love you.